Well, while we have to accept the fact that we're a nation of kids, I'm going to ask the other voters, did the election reflect something that you liked, wanted?
Well, we wanted change, but I don't think, well, I wanted change, personally. Good change. And
What kind of change was that?
I mean, I want a nation where I can actually think about having a kid, and now I can't, because I'm so scared. I can't take care of myself. So I'm like, if I bring another person into the world, can I do that in this country?
No.
Hey, what if I'm not eating?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
hard.
don't know. I worry that people are in too much of a rush for a change that they expected, that they imagined, that they never really figured out how it would come about.
I'm in the same
I
boat.
think that, hey, change takes time. And it's so long that we had issues. How can we expect it overnight?
It's not overnight, though.
It's not overnight, true.
Yeah.
I'm still going to ask you, because I've heard the word change. What is this change, guys? So for me,
Is it change of governance?
personally, I think that
change in principles.
out of all those 23, even if Brian Takey became the apparent winner,
Yeah.
would still be in the same situation. I'm not saying Nelson
True.
Chamisa today because I
Yeah.
got trolled, guys. I got trolled. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
of all those 23, I mean, I voted for Norman Nyika. Yes, I knew he wasn't going to win, but for me, elections were about who do I align principally with.
I don't even think the majority or generally the Zimbabwean people are thinking about value systems at all. You're rare.
It's gang signs.
No one's
It's a sense of belonging.
Gangs.
If you think about it, I think you're the minority. Your way of thinking, you're actually in the minority.
Yeah.
That I accept.
I mean, there's how many
Voting for technocrats.
how many popular I mean, let's use Fudzy.
Yeah.
Right? In my view, she should have won.
I think so too.
True.
You know what I'm
She had a
saying?
good campaign.
She should have won.
Yeah.
She had a
No,
great
she
campaign.
should not have won.
Why?
And then
Because if she wanted to win, she should have joined the MDC. It's basic. Wherever you are, if you join the MDC and you're not at it right now, I can campaign and win. It's basic. It's numbers game. It's not the places. We're not there. We're not as smart as people want us to believe as Zimbabweans.
Okay, then you justified it.
It's just
I'm
gang
there
signs.
with you. I'm there with
if
you.
you MDC, you win.
Yeah.
If you ZANU-PF in the rurals, you win. It's got
Yeah.
nothing to do with what you said and what you did.
But okay, on lighter things, children at school are singing some nasty war cries.
I
So,
mean,
nah.
we all did
but
at
all
some
did.
point.
We all
I
did.
mean, come on.
Yeah, and
Don't
You know,
this
when you think
section
about it,
didn't have the internet and smartphones when they were singing
Yes,
it.
yes.
This section, cell phones were still not smart.
Not yet.
smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that how you divided us? Is that how you?
No, so the world
guess so.
aligned.
The people wearing the red sit on the end, but then okay, I see.
Nah, okay, I
that's
guess
cool.
it's the producers. But no, let's talk about
it's
that.
not personal.
Everyone was okay with that? Like,
They're kids. Kids are being kids. Kids are going to do the wrong thing at some point in time. And
Let's not forget
unfortunately,
we were kids too.
Yeah. Okay.
I sang worse things. They were
The
not
dumb
on
thing
camera.
was recording. It wasn't the singing.
No,
We've
me-
all chanted nasty stuff, even worse than what they were singing. The dumb thing was that they recorded it.
No, the
I mean,
dumb
I
thing
think that was the
whoever
issue.
leaked it. Because I don't.
They shouldn't have recorded it in the first
but
place.
guys, okay, do you know why I like put it up as part of the things of the year?
Yeah.
Social media world went ballistic. Some people went, oh my gosh, children in private schools are not disciplined children. Ginny. Like, there's
I'm not a private school kid.
okay, I'm just saying, like, it became a thing. That's why I'm like, this year, this happened.
But those kids are hitting A's at levels that probably in our generation that didn't happen. They're succeeding at such ridiculous levels. They're doing amazing things.
True.
They're traveling. I mean, like really, let children be children.
I feel like it was just an issue. Dumb thing was that they recorded it.
No,
I mean, I think that was the
whoever
issue.
leaked it. Because I don't.
They shouldn't have recorded it in the first
But
place.
guys, okay, do you know why I like put it up as part of the things of the year?
Yeah.
Social media world went ballistic.
They are not private this year. They were public. They went
there.
through. They went through.
Okay, we're gonna laugh about this, but I think it's a very important issue, and I want to know everybody. Just throw it in there.
Yeah.
How do you view homosexuality as an individual? And if you're not comfortable with it, I'm okay with you saying you're not comfortable with it. But I just want to know before we go.
You know what? To me, I don't care what happens in your bedroom, right? Okay, so why should I care what happens in someone who's gay or lesbian or whatever? You know what I'm saying?
I have a question for you. When you think homosexuality, is it only copulation that comes to mind?
No, I see a person.
Okay.
It's a simple. There's Gary, whatever his name is, or he or she, and they just happen to be gay.
Okay. Larry?
My problem. It's not my problem. I mean, when I say that, this is to say, it's a human rights issue. When we're discussing human rights issues and we're trying to think that other people are less human than others, that's where the problem is.
Yeah.
True.
Okay.
I think we're living under a fallacy that we think as a nation we've got to stand point on it, but our previous president just placed it in us. You called them Western pigs. Honestly, I'm telling you, that guy, we have been adults. I can make a decision, but not everybody else is making this. Understand? There was a time. Let me break down how mentally Zimbabweans are. There was a time when we thought Pastor Ivan could take over this country, but he lost a war. Now understand how you break it down back to homosexuality. You think, we sit around this world and we think we know everything. 99% of the people don't believe in what they believe in. They listen to a president. They vote for a president, they listen to him. If he says homosexuals are worse than pigs, that's their assertion for the rest of their lives.
But what evidence do you have that people make a decision to vote based on homosexuality? There is no...
Because these young kids we're talking about have embraced it in schools, and adults did not.
I will finish the question, and I think it's better to ask you this question.
Yeah.
To say, I have this problem that I have where we say Zimbabweans and put Tonga people, Tonga and Ndebele and Xhosa people as if we all have this homogenous view. If you go to Bulawayo, there's a more open-minded view towards people who are homosexuals and so forth, as opposed to Harare. And I think in all our families, there's that uncle or that auntie who was homosexual and was never treated in a disparaging manner. But in public spaces, there's this impression that we're violently anti-homosexual.
So, I'm happy because at the end you said that in public spaces people are violent. The biggest public space we live in today is social media. I'll go back. Social media made it such a huge issue, guys. And also, let's not take away from the fact that Christianity kind of holds it all together for Zimbabwe. That's the one also not so homogenous, but majority. It makes us all homogenous. Muslims don't also subscribe to homosexuality. Even African traditions, like nobody does that, right? And all of a sudden, there is a white man who is said to be homosexual at a school, and they say, because we want to teach people to be more receptive was the word. What was the word?
Yeah, I believe that's
tolerance. No, I mean when they started it, the letter was saying that we want to promote tolerance and an environment that is safe for everybody in that school, right? So Mr. Peter something is gay, right?
Deeper.
No. I'm using face value because I don't have a child at St. John's. I don't go to St. John's. The best that happened is that my son has got a friend at St. John's and is like,
okay. The story was very, very weird, messed up. It had so many dynamics to it. I ended up on one or two other shows on that very topic. And it is not as black and white as them just suddenly wanting to prevent this situation of acceptance. It wasn't that clear cut. But I will say this regarding social media. It did both sides of the story. As much as was being said about people being angry or annoyed with it for personal beliefs and all that, there was as much backlash from parents and other very objective people saying, basically, guys, you took this conversation away from us and us having it with our children. You forced us, regardless of our preference on the matter, and just decided yourselves.
Okay.
And that was a whole conversation that was there as well.
Because I don't have the statistics, I'm going to tell you that my mom and my dad will never have that conversation with me. They never did. And which is, I would like to assume that my neighbors and my neighbors' neighbors don't do that. So majority of the Zimbabwean families don't have that specific conversation about homosexuality.
But they don't have a conversation about heterosexuality either. They
Yeah.
don't have conversation about sex. So you
About
can't say
anything.
one or the other.
So now that homosexuality came up, and why I want us to bring it down, as a people, right? Actually, as Africans,
Yeah.
most of our donor funding comes from people who essentially homosexuality, who address homosexuality as human rights. They require us to uphold that.
Yeah.
And somehow, even when we were doing the constitution, we said, okay, we realize that homosexual people are there. We don't want them to get married. We don't want them to have rights that heterosexual human beings have. And with all of that, are we still stuck in a space where we would rather not have that aid and funding so that we can live with life just because somebody else is a homosexual?
You know what? I think, to me, I laughed at that whole story. I didn't even read the statement. I didn't read any of that, because the reality is that, and it's good to me. I think we're trying to, donor money and all this sort of stuff. That's all noise. We make noise about the wrong things. Okay? I don't know if you remember. I'm in the media, right? Around about that time, there was a cholera outbreak.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Actually.
Yes.
People were dying.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't even know.
Typhoid as
We,
well,
we
that
don't
time.
even know how many people actually died. But we will make so much noise about this gay teacher at this private school, right? Why don't we make noise about cholera? Why do we have
The same
cholera
way.
in 2018 in Harare, in Zimbabwe? You understand? Exactly.
Chapa?
Yeah. So
Which-
let's discuss that issue.
Yeah.
Someone's sexuality. Who cares?
Which goes back to
I'm
the
over-
issue that
Who cares?
they're just
how does it
overgrown
actually?
children running.
How does
the
it
country.
actually? How does it actually affect me?
Exactly.
Doesn't make sense.
I mean,
2018 being unnecessary, honestly.
your
It doesn't make
So
sense.
here's
your
the thing,
child.
guys.
It's
Here's
your
the thing.
child.
I'm gonna call you out because firstly,
Yeah.
everyone who's seated here has got some level of social influence.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't see none of y'all because I follow all of y'all on Twitter. I didn't see any of y'all say, you know what, guys, let these homosexual people be homosexual people and let's legalize everything that have to
That's
like
fueling,
sexual-
No, but
fueling
you
a
know what?
conversation that's not supposed to be happening.
Exactly.
So you're not gonna
I
bring a
actually
social
strongly disagree with
capital
that point,
into
because-
something you don't even believe in. Like, okay, let's leave this conversation. Let's talk about cholera.
Actually,
Okay,
I
but
actually,
Larry
I,
has
actually,
a-
actually, I spoke about this, and I actually used the exact. I can't remember the exact way I tweeted, and I said, guys, has anyone asked the question? We're making so much noise about this teacher
One
or
thing.
headmaster, or whatever. What about the noise of around cholera? You understand what I'm saying?
Weird.
Pertinent issue.
Pertinent issues.
Yeah.
2018 being so unnecessary, whether we had something or had not something, we're still in trouble. We had cholera, then it went away. Now we do not have fuel.
hasn't,
You
yeah.
see, whether you have something or you don't, we're still in a mess. So let's talk about the fuel crisis, guys. How do you look at the Christmas that's gonna be happening? Are you gonna have Santa? We're gonna have Feather Christmas. Those two people are
What
different, right?
Christmas?
I actually
What
speculate.
Christmas?
Christ,
There's no
Christ,
Christmas.
25 December. How you guys feeling?
I feel like Christmas is a vibe, you know. It's a vibe. It's an environment where you feel like, oh my God, the year was so beautiful, and now it's time to be happy with our family. You can't buy anything. Someone will probably be in a fuel queue or in hospital or will be crying about something else. So there is no Christmas, to be honest. It's just another day on the calendar. No Christmas for Zimbabwe
A
in
picnic
2018.
in the car, chilled, fuel.
What pic?
slow
Exactly.
flow, slow
Yeah.
riding.
Yeah.
Still Christmas. It's
Do
cool.
you have a car,
So
my friend?
No.
I have a couple. Do you know what? I drive a girl crazy, then I drive a girl crazy.
Okay.
No Christmas.
So how is the Christmas gonna be? How do you feel with the current situation we're going through?
You know what? I don't think Zimbabwe's had what we'd call a traditional Christmas,
Christmas.
in maybe 6-8 years. I don't know. I don't know when we had Christmas.
I'm gonna get family and friends. We're gonna hang out. Do
Can
the
I
best
come
with what-
hang out with you?
Sure. I mean, we're gonna do the best we
I'm
want to
taking
have.
my
This is
whole
a
family to
one-time-
Larry's house.
I mean,
right?
like, this is a one time that I'm gonna, get my friends and family together, celebrate life. I mean, we could decide that some external factor that I have no control over is gonna take my happiness away. But I choose not to. I mean,
Are you traveling this year? Who's traveling?
Whether things are good or bad, I'm gonna be happy.
Okay. So Larry, guys, he just plunges into the deep zone.
You
like
know.
Yeah,
he
you
zombers
That
the
was
things.
so
I told
you know.
you. I
He
told you.
zombers the things. So
told
on
you.
things that actually ruin Christmas, he did say fuel cues.
Yeah,
like,
true.
like how y'all dealing with that?
You know, I think Zimbabweans are a forgetful bunch. Very, very, very forgetful group of people.
You know.
I was in a fuel queue
Yeah.
not too long ago. I'm going to be in one tomorrow or
Yeah.
Saturday. I expect it.
Yeah.
So I was desperate, literally nothing. So I had to go join this queue. I saw it happening. I was like, yes, chance given. I went, I joined the queue. I chilled from 10 a.m. till 5. 2 cars from the pump. The guy say, nope, it's finished. So I'm like, snap, you know, I can't stay here. I can't. So I get home. Next day I hear about another one.
And
I
you're
dash there. I chill from 10:30 till 5:15. I finally get my
Fuel.
40 liters of fuel.
So guys, like
So 2 days of productivity.
Go on.
But once you're driving,
Hey,
Okay.
what's the
Hey.
plan? What's the plan?
and I think Zimbabweans generally are like that. I was so angry in the queue. I was angry at everything.
I can see you look angry right now.
Right now, yeah, relief is a hell of a thing.
But afterwards, until you have to find yourself in that situation again,
Yeah.
you calm down. And I think we're like that about too much stuff
A lot.
in Zim.
A
so
lot.
Larry is actually right, guys. Don't let anything take away your happiness.
You have to
Don't
yeah,
get
I
mad.
understand.
Don't get mad about the fuel,
No, the thing
right?
is though, being mad at that point made me want to act on it. So
How so?
some emotional response will make you act on things. And I think we get too used to surviving and
Yeah.
just moving that we forget to respond to certain things and we just accept stuff.
Plus, we always have as long as I'm good. I'm not sure if it's just me or the people around me, but as long as I have fuel, as long as I have meat in my fridge, as long as I have electricity, I'm good. You know, if something happens to deter me, then I'll sort it out. But you're not looking at the bigger picture. There's someone who has less, you know, and there's someone who's suffering even more than you are. And we won't do anything about it because we're just like, yo, I'm good. So.
Is it an I'm good situation or dollar angwari kwani newe? Nah,
It's
like,
also an I'm
I want us
good.
to be let's be
Because we
very
can do
realistic
something.
about
I
that.
think the bigger problem for me is we share problems, not solutions. So instead of me telling Nige, hey, do you know what? There's actually cheaper chicken there than there. On social media, you only get pictures of the most expensive
Expensive stuff,
Have
yeah.
you found out how bad the situation
Yeah.
is? So we've become so obsessed with the terrible things, and even sometimes
Yeah.
even get people editing images and making something that costs $1.50 look like it costs $11.50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of helping each other,
Yeah.
we started harming each other more because in some weird way, there are humans out there that find pleasure in spreading bad news. And to finish off, I think we're not doing enough even within our family and friends to say that, you know what, iwo ukwana nyama kupi? Is it, okay, you're actually getting your chickens at $10, I'm getting someone for $15. So can I hook up with your $10 person? In the house, you need $10 and take.
Yeah.
So I'm the
Okay.
only one getting the $10. It's like the same thing when you get an opportunity to go to South Africa to be part of something that's happening. You don't tell other Zimbabweans there's an opportunity because you want to be the only
Only
Zimbabwean
exclusive.
there. And you look like you're the only one who's doing
Yeah.
something. So it's got to be a mind change that we're going to deal with. Nigel, you could notice this.
Yeah, I want to support what you're saying. I'm retweeting your,
Retweet with comments.
you know, exactly with comment, exactly. But you know what? So hashtag has a way of simplifying my life in a way that just makes things easy. The other day, I come home, 2 weeks ago, I come home, no, it was last week actually. I come home and I'm stressed out about something, and she was like, Dad, let's color together. Right?
Okay.
That's deep.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you what are you saying? And she said, no, come color. Let's color. So we literally sit down, and she's a bit of a bully, right? So fathers and their daughters got this thing, and we just colored. And she was, I'll pick up the color. And she said, no, Dad, that's the color that I'm going to pick up. This is the one that you need to use. But you know what that whole exercise did was it really brought things into perspective. You know what I mean? So, St. John's this, Fuel Q that. This kid wants to color, man.
That's it.
That's it.
That's deep.
You know? So let's
Like, okay.
let's color.
Your coloring book.
Slow down.
So you say
you guys writing books or something?
No, this is worth a mic drop, but I want the night to get to an age where she go color with me, okay? But the perspective that we're having, it's I get the part of let's appreciate the little things, right? But the truth of the matter is that it doesn't take away.
Yeah,
From
let's
the
accept
thing
what's
about-
happening. Like as a nation, we did not move forward.
Okay, how are we going to address it? I think Larry put on a good thing to say
It's
we
a
need
good
to start
state of
helping
mind.
each
Yeah.
other instead of
Solutions.
harming each other.
Yeah.
So I'll first get people filled up with drinks except for Sir Nigel because he's not drinking his juice. I don't know why. I might just get him a different drink, but catch us after the break when we talk about our expectations for 2019.